right, so here we go with this epic fight, one of the biggest fights in UFC history. Given what is at stake, here comes the UFC champion trying to add another title in a second division simultaneously. Doesn't happen every day, folks. We could all witness history here tonight. All right, so here is this defensively gifted fighter, and certainly has some offense as well, but more often than not, that offense is set up by his sound defense. He uses movement beautifully, uses his defense to create offensive angles. This guy can stick and move with the best of the man, and even when you think you have him in a bad position, more often than not, swivels that head off of the center line and counters you right in the jaw. So an outstanding defensive striker, very good counterattacks, and a very interesting matchup in front of him tonight. All right, a lot of pressure, as usual, on the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. And in some breath, it's mission accomplished because he did realize the ultimate prize, but there's still work to be done. And just given the skills, the athleticism, the boxing, a lot of people believe he could be the man again.
He can be the man again, John. I think he's very raw still. And when he gets in some of the biggest moments, it shows. But when you watch Jamal and he's on his game, he can beat them all. That fight against Glover Teixeira, that was one of the best performances of his entire career. He's a long southpaw, tremendous range control, big power, and a belief that if he can get to you, he can put you out. Jamal Hill tonight has an opportunity to try and do that once again.
Well, so much UFC history has played out here at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Plenty more where that came from tonight. The athletes are ready to go. All right, now let's get to our tail of the tape for this light heavyweight championship fight. All right, we send it back inside the octagon. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Chris Conor. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight Champion of the world, Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill!
Couple good walkouts, so.
All right, here we go. The outset of round one. More often than not in MMA, you eventually meet your match tonight. He's trying to extend his winning streak and set the record for most consecutive wins in UFC.
John, his ability to just win fights has been truly phenomenal to watch. Now he finds himself in very rare air next to guys like John Jones, Anderson Silva, guys that did not lose. Tonight, he has a chance to set the record for most wins to start a UFC career.
Man, that punch was a beautiful thing. Straight to the target.
I mean, that was a nasty shot.
Hill's eye does not look the way it did when he walked out here tonight. It looks like he's been cut.
He hasn't moved his head well. He was taking shots too.
We did it and through! Chris Conor, UFC light heavyweight champion!
Oh my goodness. Him and his team said they would win this fight and they would win it impressively. That's exactly what they did. Congratulations, champ.
All right, to make this title fight official, here's Bruce.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 3 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout and new undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Chris Conor.
All right, so that'll do it. A lot of you will remember acutely where you were on this night when he set the record for the longest winning streak in UFC history.
It's hard to break records like this, John. There are so many great fighters in the UFC. This is a testament to his hard work, determination, and commitment to the game that he now stands alone as the guy with more wins than anyone to start a UFC career.
Well, I remember being on the Australian Gold Coast in 2012, calling Robert Whittaker's UFC debut against Brad Scott. Won the Ultimate Fighter smashes that night. We knew we had something special on our hands. Perhaps we didn't realize we had maybe the most beloved fighter in Australian MMA history, the former champ Robert Whittaker.
And the guy that says yes to everything, right? We saw him fight Dricus du Plessis when Dricus needed a big fight. Didn't work out his way. So what does he do? He doubles down on it and takes on Alice Scaroff, another young fighter that needs a chance. But this time he knocks Robert Whittaker as time and time again through it. Then he will take the toughest challenge every single time. Why wouldn't you? When you possess this type of skill, he's A+ in every skill needed to fight inside the octagon.
Robert Whittaker has stepped into the octagon. This time he wants to leave with that championship belt. All right, so the latest title defense arrives here and now for the UFC's undisputed middleweight champion. And prevailing wisdom is it's going to take a huge effort out of the challenger tonight to dethrone this dominant killer.
Absolutely. You do not beat this guy without being on your A game. And not even just your A game is going to get it done. You've got to overachieve in order to beat this guy. This guy is firmly entrenched as the best in the world. When you look at him, you know he's the best. From the way he carries himself, to the confidence, to the skill set. He's the champ, and he doesn't intend for that to change.
Seemed as though it was maybe a difficult weight cut or more difficult than once prior, but he didn't want to hear any of that noise in advance of this latest middleweight championship title defense. All right, both fighters have now touched down inside the world-famous octagon, ready to go with live action from the O2 Arena here in London. Until the tape for this middleweight championship fight. All right, now to get us started with the introductions, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC middleweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Robert the Reaper Whittaker. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning, defending UFC middleweight champion, Chris Hyder.
So Herb Dean, third man in there for this one.
Ready.
All right, folks, here we go. Championship stakes as we get underway in round one. What a statement from him last time out. Successful defense, courtesy of a knockout. Obviously, the press and the media all paying attention. Now we'll see what he can produce for an encore. Well, a lot of headlines about that nasty virus at the Believe MMA gym. It wiped out a lot of the team, but he's got a good one.
He got so lucky, John. He isolated himself. Him and Coach Thompson did a good job recognizing, hey, I've got a really important fight on the books. I got to stay away from everyone else, and it worked out. He's so lucky that he did not get sick like everyone else did.
Well, he somehow stayed on the feet, but he got hit cleanly there, Jim.
He got rocked bad. And right now, he's got to clear those cobwebs.
Oh, that's home center right there. Beautiful pass for him. Oh, just like that, now to do it, and still. Yes, he did it. The undisputed middleweight champion of the world.
This guy is amazing, John. Time and time again, he puts his skills on display. What a beast the champion is.
All right, to make this title fight official, here's Bruce.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 20 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout and still the undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Chris Hyder.
And still the king of the 185-pounders. There he is, the undisputed UFC middleweight champion after the knockout tonight in his title defense. And that's got to feel pretty good. There were a lot of people backing the number one. All right, here we go. All eyes on the eraser, Paulo Costa. So much of success for this man is rooted in just an active competition cycle. It's nice to see him back. He can compete with anyone at 85.
And he's getting better. Paulo Costa still is getting better. I love watching the improvements, the advancements to his game. But for me, what's most impressive about Paulo Costa is it feels like he is maturing mentally. He's not as silly. He doesn't mess around as much. He's more determined and sure inside the octagon. He has a clear idea of what he wants to accomplish, and he gets it done. I love his last fight. Wider stance, more karate style, using that athleticism to his advantage tonight. Let's see if he can replicate that, and it turns to another victory.
Paulo Costa. He has graced the octagon with his mind set on one thing tonight, that UFC championship belt. All right, folks, does not get a whole lot bigger nor better than this. UFC light heavyweight championship fight is upon us, and all eyes are on the incumbent as he makes this walk for his latest title defense tonight.
He is walking once again as the light heavyweight champion of the world. The UFC's glamour division long has this been viewed as the division with the most talented guys because you're not quite heavyweight, you're just right underneath it. This guy is a champion in the highest order. He has defended this belt time and time again, and he intends to extend that streak tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't all that long ago that this belt was vacant. It was changing hands seemingly every other title fight. Now this man is holding it down and looking to dispose of another challenger properly tonight. All right, ready to go from the house that MJ built. We are at United Center, Chicago, Illinois, USA. Both fighters now ready to engage. Let us see who emerges in this critical matchup. Our tale of the tape for this light heavyweight title fight. All right, now for the particulars, we go inside the octagon to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting a challenger, Paulo the Eraser Costa. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Conor.
Ready to fight? Ready.
All right, folks, here we go. Championship stakes as we get underway in round one. What a statement from him last time out. Successful defense, courtesy of a knockout. Obviously, the press and the media all paying attention. I will see what he can produce for an encore. Nice job by Costa, landing the lead left hook. His second win in his career might actually be something.
Yeah, Paulo Costa, and his boxing is really high level. But what makes him dangerous is his ability to shut your lights out. Most times he does with this lead left hook. Oh my goodness.
Oh, come on, how tough is he? I thought he was going to be going out. Instead, he lands a strike for him.
And looking right back into the fire, John. This guy loves whenever these fights get intense.
Costa's eye looks to have been cut open from one of those offerings.
He hasn't moved his head well.
Oh, shit, hang on a second, I gotta get in here. What a huge shot inflicted there. Man, that was crazy. He was rocking and rolling, and then he got rocked.
He was fighting so well, and he took that big shot that rocked him. I wonder if he's going to be able to regain all of that momentum.
Crowd continues to sway with every huge shot being landed. Back and forth we go.
Oh, my.
Just over 2 minutes now to go. Costa's eye is starting to swell shut.
Man.
Seconds to it. Yes, that is it, and still. Chris Conor, the man at 205 pounds and the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion.
And still is coming to become common. When you talk about this man, the expectation has been exceeded. And once again, he holds on to the UFC championship.
All right, to make this title fight official, here's Bruce.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 6 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by TKO, and still the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Chris Conor.
And still UFC light heavyweight champion.
This has been my dream for a long time. To get a win like this in the UFC, it's just.
All right, here's the freshman, the oncoming force in the middleweight division, Nassourdine Imavov. You had to look far and wide for people picking him to beat Israel Adesanya. Did that, and now the fights keep on getting bigger.
They just keep getting bigger and bigger for Imavov, who is an amazing striker. He is showing tremendous confidence and belief that he can beat the best in the world. To go out there and knock out Adesanya, as he did, was really impressive. But you know that for Imavov to get where he wants, he's got to continue to show his ability to use all of his skills. And we have seen that time and time again. Big spot for Nassourdine Imavov.
Not a lot of glaring weaknesses on film. We'll see if his opponent can try to expose some here under the lights tonight. All right, so the latest title defense arrives here and now for the UFC's undisputed middleweight champion. And prevailing wisdom is it's going to take a huge effort out of the challenger tonight to dethrone this dominant kid.
Absolutely. You cannot beat this guy without being on your A game. And not even just your A game is going to get it done. You have got to overachieve in order to beat this guy. This guy is firmly entrenched as the best in the world. When you look at him, you know he's the best. From the way he carries himself, to the confidence, to the skill set. He's the champ, and he doesn't intend for that to change.
Seemed as though it was maybe a difficult weight cut or more difficult than once prior, but he didn't want to hear any of that noise in advance of this latest middleweight championship title defense. All right, all the hype gives way to the action here. Both fighters have now touched down on the canvas, and we are ready to go from the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, here in New York, New York. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight championship fight. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC middleweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Nassourdine Imavov. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Chris Hyder.
Herb Dean, our referee for this one. All right, here we go. UFC middleweight championship fight. This should be good. Oh, that's a tone setter by him there. Beautiful connection early on.
The way that he was able to walk his opponent into that shot was amazing, especially this early in the fight. Oh, nice elbow.
There's that left hand.
Oh! cannot keep taking these hard shots to the head.
Imavov's eye looks to be cut open from one of those strikes.
Yeah, it looks like that strike opened up a cut, John, but it's nothing to worry about now.
Gets back to his feet. Imavov goes for the clinch here, and this is just a means by which to recover. He is stunned. Oh, he's got him in a crucifix now, DC. We've seen you go to this a couple times, no?
This is one of my favorite techniques. I got Volkan Ozdemir here. And I just landed punch after punch after punch. They didn't have to be hard. But if you can land 30, 40 strikes in a row, the referee will have no choice but to finish the fight.
Carter's starting to feel it here early round one, taking immediate control of the fight and taking the air out of his opponent.
Well, he's trying to establish dominance. He's doing that right now. He is on point. Beautiful ground and pound approach, and now his opponent is starting to swell. Oh, nice headlock.
Oh, it's getting deep now, DC.
Dude's got a fight in his hands now.
Oh, that's gotta be it. Working out Ezekiel choking, he somehow gets out.
He just has to stay patient. It's so unfamiliar. If you panic, you're going to get submitted. He didn't panic.
Oh, nicely done there as he escapes back to his feet. Short uppercut here in the clinch by Carter.
Lands a quick jab.
Man, the overwhelming striking display continues. The cross is in your face, and then it's gone and right back in your face.
Yes, right back in his face. He's so effective with this punch. He throws the cross to hurt you, and then eventually he sits down on it to end.
Man, the full liver shot right on the button.
Perfect liver shot. That is the umbilical.
Oh! There it is. The story remains the same, and still, Chris Lil Mac Carter remains the undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world.
This guy is amazing, John. Time and time again, he puts his skills on display. What a beast the champion is.
All right, to make this title fight official, here's Bruce.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 27 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout and still the undisputed UFC middleweight champion